Hey everyone, it's Cian here from Brainsponge, and I'm just giving a quick introduction to this week's episode, as this week we cover the topic of mental health, and how mental health has affected us in the past, and how we get over it. Although this is a very positive episode about mental health, I do want to give a few trigger warnings for topics discussed in this episode. In this episode, we discuss depression, addiction, past trauma, mental breakdowns, social anxiety, the pandemic, COVID-19, panic attacks, and negativity on social media. It's a very personal episode, so we ask you be respectful towards me and Matthew. And if you feel like you have something undiagnosed or something you want to check out, there's always professional help out there. And if you feel like you're alone, trust me, you're not. There's people around you and plenty of professionals who'd be willing to help you. Thank you, and please enjoy the episode. How do you start an episode like this? You know,
I don't.
It's a tough one because, like I said, it's compared to the first other episodes we did, they're a bit more silly, you know. But this one, we want to be a bit more serious about it because you brought up the topic you wanted to discuss this week.
Yeah, I mean, we can have wackier parts in it because I mean, another part of mental health. I actually find it really weird just saying mental health.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
like when you put it in context, it's like, oh yeah, it is a thing.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very bizarre. I think why I wanted to talk about it is because I don't know. Recently, I've been definitely thinking to myself about how it's. I've felt a bit weird about things that I'm just like, should I feel weird about this? Like, because it's weird. I'm asking myself, should I? Or like, man, why am I feeling like this? When it's just like, I think it's probably normal. And if you're talking about it, then it's, or like if you want to talk about it, it's.
Because like, internalizing things is weird because, again, you understand what's happening, but then when you try to contextualize it and try to talk about it, you're like, so yeah, this thing that's happening, it's,
yeah,
I don't actually understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Because, like, with me, like, being extremely introverted literally since the moment I was born,
yeah,
opening up was always hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh boy, we're already going into the deep end. Oh yeah, Brainsponge episode 2, and this week we're talking about mental health.
Hell yeah, dude.
But, nah, like, during the pandemic, one thing that's, like, it's funny thing is, I have it written at the very bottom of the list here, but I'll bring it up now, that, like, during the pandemic, I kind of just realized how soul-sucking social media is.
Man, I think I have a small addiction with. No, I'm not a small. I don't even say addiction. It's just looking through everything, scrolling by, and I don't know why I've only started realizing this now, but like where I look at something and then. Like 5 seconds after looking at, like literally 5 seconds, I would blank it. Like what didn't mean anything to me.
And with you, when you're ADD, do you think it would just feed into it more? Of like, hey, I have nothing to do. I'm gonna.
Dude, yeah, it's a like. I remember, like when I watch a video on YouTube, right, and then I'm like, oh, cool. Like I see a suggested post on Reddit or something, or someone posted on Instagram. I would then like continue scrolling for like an hour.
It's like a really bad cycle.
Yeah.
Of just on board with this app, go on to the next one, on board with this app, I'll go back to the other app.
Yeah. I think because it's this, for me, it's like, it's scrolling down and seeing what's next. And I think all those apps have that. And it's.
Again, they're all made to be addicting. Because I remember last year, it was a bit over the top and had this weird B plot, but it was called The Social Dilemma. And it was engineers talking about how they purposely made social media addicting.
I was recommended this.
Like, it is a bit over the top because, like, it has the actual people talking, but then it has like this weird B plot. It goes 0 to 100, but social media is addicting. Oh, that reminds me, I got you a small present.
Oh, is this because of my B-day and like?
Nah, last week. You know, last time we recorded, this helped you focus.
Oh my God! No way.
You know, because I remember when we recorded episode 0, you were a bit fluttery all over the place. You were very fidgety.
Yeah.
Then I gave you my one. So yeah, there you go to help you.
This, well, I was actually thinking to myself just there, like, I wonder if it's funnier if we just don't say what it is. Like, it's just this mysterious thing. But what it actually is, it's a fidget cube.
Yeah, because like, when we recorded episode 0, I was sitting here calm as you like. You're peeking. Oh god.
Oh my god.
Oh god, no. Oh no.
Jesus.
I'm gonna have to cut that out. But because like with me as well, with mental health.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend is pretty sure that she has ADHD that's been undiagnosed. So I've been kind of delving a bit more into non-neurotypical people and just how to approach them. Like, you know, how to make them feel comfortable. And, like, when we recorded episode 0 with you, like, you know, you were very fidgety, you were moving around and shifting a lot, you didn't know what to do with your hands.
Yeah.
Then episode 1, I gave you my fidget cube, which I have now.
Yeah.
And it helps.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that comes...
Make sure you talk into the mic.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. There's a lot that comes with ADD. Like, I actually didn't realize this until, like, a couple of days ago of ADD, but... I blank a lot of conversations sometimes. Like I blank out and I just stare off and I'm in my own head. I probably should have realized that's a pretty obvious thing that ADD, but like I usually things that I just blank and I don't like listen. That is my ADD going off and that happens a lot, but like I also don't really care because I actually quite like it sometimes. It lets me blank out. It gives me a talking point once I come back into the conversation. I don't know if that's the mentality I should have. Like, I mean, I haven't gone to like a psychologist about it in like forever. I literally the only time I've ever gone to a psychologist about my ADD is to prove that I have ADD.
That's how it is with most people. But like, I hear when it comes to like finding out if you're like non-neurodivergent, like, is it worth it? Is it not? Because some people say like it's more burden than it actually is. But it's all these small things that people don't understand about it. 'Cause like with me, I think I have 1 or 2 underlying conditions that are undiagnosed. Like I think I have bipolar disorder because some days I'll be fine and just all of a sudden mood drop.
Yeah.
But it's just, I've learned to start coping with it. Like usually I've just let it fester, let it happen. But now I've gotten a bit self-aware about it, and I'd be like, hey, you're in a bad mood for no reason. Let everyone else know around you you're in a bad mood just because.
Yeah.
But, like I said, at the moment, we're kind of a bit aimless in how we're starting this. Like, we're just talking. There's nothing, everything's being said, because mental health is a tough thing to talk about. Yeah. Just because it's so big, it's so much. Like, where do you even start?
I know. I mean, like, during this entire week, right, I was thinking of questions for this podcast, but usually when I think of one question, I kind of get stuck on that question and trying to figure out how I can answer it and stuff. But it's the thing where when you're told you have like a disorder or of anything like with
it
your
always
mental
comes
health,
with negative connotations. They're like, this is bad, this will like badly affect you, which I think is the worst thing you can do. Yeah.
And during when I was thinking about it, I was just like, I was also thinking that like your brain realizes this, but your brain also doesn't do anything about it. And I'm like, I'm so baffled by this concept that your brain knows you're not in. Well, I mean, your brain has to be told that for most of the part, because I probably wouldn't have known I had ADD until I was told it. I remember during primary school and most of secondary school, I was oblivious to what I had. I was just told I have something, and I was like, cool.
Thanks,
I have
guys.
something. And then when I finally had to redo a psychology test for what I had, I was finally told I had dyslexia and ADD, and I was like, cool. Well, that makes more sense why I have why I have these advantages over people. I was like, cool, I guess.
And I'm glad you say advantages over disadvantages.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
At the same time, like, you know, not everything is bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I remember in school, I was very happy to have a lot of the things I got. Like for tests, I got my own room, and I was like, that's very
a bit
nice.
more privacy, you know. You're not as overwhelmed and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
they tried to also give me a laptop to like type my answers in, but I am a slow learner and I don't know if that's because the keyboard is fidgety to me. So it's like,
that's why I have a mechanical keyboard. I'll try see if you can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I made it larger. Oops.
Whoa. That's
but
big.
like with me, I don't think I have ADHD or ADD. But like on my desk, I have a bunch of puzzles.
Yeah.
You know, tough ones that I have in my hand here. I have a fidget spinner and I have a fidget cube.
Yeah.
Because I try and trick my brain into writing. Like I said, the mechanical keyboard tricks me into writing. But, you know, I built this setup that we're recording in. We're also time-lapsing it as well. So you'll see like a little video on our Instagram or something of the whole process. Because we didn't, like I said, I had no idea how to start this. Like, on my notebook beside me, I had, like, small talk, but we kind of just skipped it all, because I was going to ask, how you doing? Like, you know, Brainsponge is doing well, the first 2 episodes are out.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm kind of glad that we just bypassed it and went into it.
Yeah.
But, like, we're going to get a bit more specific, but, like, it was just... I was happy to hear that you wanted to talk about mental health, because, like, you know, the first, episode 0 was just us... Again, you talking into the mic, and like now it's so nice seeing you just comfortable, literally just sitting there, like, hey, let's go.
I literally, I don't know, I love, I really like this position now. Yeah. But like, I mean, even though I felt uncomfortable, I would say I'm more giddy now to get into this seat and then be like, I can't wait to talk about all the cool things I've been trying to think of.
You know, we had episode 0 was like, yeah, cool. And then we had episode 1, which was about creativity.
Yeah.
And now, like, it's like mental health. Because, like, nearly 2 years now, everyone's it's probably declined.
Yeah.
Especially if you're creative like us, where it's just all the fun is gone.
I know. I remember... Most of my ideas during the pandemic came from music. And music was, I don't know, music was such a good help for me. I don't know why.
Music and podcasts for me.
Yeah. I think, yeah, podcasts were hugely helpful to me, but I don't know why I've suddenly like gone out of them, apart from one you've introduced me to, which is
Magnus.
Yeah. And I've listened to a few audiobooks on Spotify as well. Those I'm still okay listening to, but podcasts I've gotten out of, like, I mean, listening to people talking. Funny enough, we're doing that.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, but I'm also quite like I it's weird. The moment I stopped listening to podcasts, I felt like I didn't like the moment a few episodes of some podcasts I watched came out and I missed them. I was like, I can't listen to them anymore because I have to start from like where I left off. And I'm
over the course of last October, Charlie's podcast, the official podcast, I've listened to every single episode. And I even subscribed to the Patreon and listened to all the bonus episodes.
Oh my god.
So I burned through all of them. Like,
wow.
I started off with all their solo episodes and now I'm going through all their guest episodes, because usually some guest podcasts I don't like, but you know, I think because like I'm lucky enough that I had a routine throughout the entire pandemic. I was still working, so I still had that. Yeah. But it's just seeing all the negativity on social media, bringing it back to social media earlier and how it was affecting me. Just seeing daily, like, here's how many COVID cases there are, here's what you're not allowed to do anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be on social media anymore. It's like, you know, the only social media I really use is Instagram, because again, it's tailored to me. It's just photos, stuff I like. But just Facebook was just this cesspool of negativity. And so I started getting more into podcasts. It's just, again, it just stopped me thinking about the world, what's happening in it.
Yeah, I think with social media and how shit the pandemic was for like a lot of people, like I was so happy for John Krasinski's Some Good News, because that's literally was a godsend for him to just do that, like just show off the goods.
With social media, it's like how many cases there were. They never tell you how many people recovered.
Yeah. I was, and watching him like show off, like, I don't know, like the good in humanity.
The little there is.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is so nice. And what's even better is the fact that even with him, he showed off some like the minor things that showed off, and there's like all around the world that's happening. Good things are happening. It's just the news
It
thrives.
feeds on negativity because they'll see something negative, you click it, it gives them money because of ads.
Yeah.
And most people have fallen into the trap. So, like, it's kind of hard, but I can't really delete Facebook, but I never go on it.
I keep it because of Messenger.
Yeah, that'd be the same with me. The fact that, like, Messenger is its own thing. But
yeah.
because, like, to take it back when everything was happening, you know, like, I'll go into a bit later on of, like, the lowest point of my life, which you were there that night, you know, the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's just after that, like I said, we're going to talk more about that later on, but when I got my job and I started my step into recovering and bettering myself, the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what do I do now? Because I wanted to get into freelancing. I was buying all my equipment. I just wanted to make stuff. And then it's just like, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you want to make short films, you're not allowed with people. You need 2 meters apart. This will literally affect your life. Stay inside, go to work. You're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to see anyone.
Yeah.
And it was just, George Orwell would be like, this is too much for me.
Yeah. I mean, with this pandemic and I mean, it was really hard to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
What do you say was the toughest thing for you?
I couldn't talk to people. I mean, I was at a low point of just lying in my bed doing fucking nothing, watching constant YouTube videos, and I was thinking to myself, like, I could be doing something, but, like, I really can't. And I, like, luckily there was still some joy to be had. I mean, like, that's not the worst. I mean, it's like I was just stuck in my room doing nothing. Hell, I could have animated during that.
I could have made stuff, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's just, it didn't feel like there was any point.
Yeah, I mean, I also had college going through that,
Yeah.
and
Going from being there interacting with people to, hey, here's a screen.
I absolutely fucking despised it. For the first, like, few months, I was, like, afraid to fucking turn on my, like, webcam to just show off my room, or, like, just to show off where I'm at. And I'm just like, I don't want to. I'm like, I can talk for sure. And actually, in fairness, I don't think I ever turned it on, which means I never overcame that, like, stupid fear. But, like, I mean, okay, at the very end, I did turn it on, but it was, I don't know, it was like I didn't need to do anything in that class because I didn't feel...
Felt like nothing mattered. The world was ended, you know?
Yeah.
Just sit and watch the sunset.
And, dude, the amount of, like, I don't think we'll talk too much about politics, but the amount of fucking politic drama that was happening during this time is insane.
Like, I remember last year when the government, they're like, oh, you're not allowed to see people, you're not allowed to go to restaurants, but then a whole bunch of them went to Clare, and, like, 150 of them had this big meal together.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, stuff like that. It's just, you know, you're supposed to be in charge, you're given these rules, but yet you're not doing it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember last year when my girlfriend went back to college. So she goes to college halfway across the country, and she doesn't really have any friends there, so I would be going up to see her, you know?
Yeah.
And then when level 5, which was announced, which means you're not allowed to leave your county, you're not allowed to leave 5 kilometers of your home, let alone county. So she was stuck there by herself, and she wasn't able to finish the semester, so she had to just repeat the year.
Yeah.
So she's just been at home. And, like, you know, it was tough because, like, you know, you only got into a relationship right before it happens.
Yeah, I mean, okay, in fairness, I was very happy about that. And,
well, I don't blame you.
Yeah, and even during the pandemic, if looking back on it, it felt like it was, like, really quick because we were still in that, like, kind of
honeymoon phase.
Yeah, it's weird to say honeymoon though.
No, that's what it's called. The honeymoon phase.
Yeah. And I was still just kind of overjoyed with that, and so that helped me through a lot. I was very happy. So I was very lucky with that, and I think the only other thing that made me feel even like, I mean, okay, there was a few things that made me happy, like more things. Even in college, like college was really shitty, but even the slightest bit of opening up, just walking around and talking to people really fucking helped. Like I love talking. Talking gets me like through a lot of shit.
Hence
like,
why we started this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, like talking lets me like fucking unleash everything I've been like penting up through a day of just me thinking into my own head of just like, man, I could be doing like, or like thinking about anything.
Saying things make the ideas in my head come true.
Yeah, and talking to people about like just nothing. It's like, I mean, it is nothing that I'm talking to them about, but it's like it means something to me because
like even with this podcast, like I remember just one day you were like, I want to do a podcast. I was like, I have the stuff upstairs. Let's just try it.
Yeah.
And originally it was just an idea. We were just like, oh, I don't really know. Can we do it properly? And like, was it 8 weeks later? Here we are. It's like it's an actual thing now.
Yeah.
Like it was just originally it was an idea, but now it's on Spotify. It's on this. It's you know, and people like you know, Joe Rogan, we're coming for you, but you know,
yeah, we're gonna beat the shit out of him.
But like you know,
definitely.
I was happy to see that like. Usually, like with podcasts, you'll get like wood people listening. No, we've had quite a lot of engagements.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like let me pull up the analytics and whatnot. Which
oh yeah, 4 viewers.
I mean,
no,
like
I'm joking.
the first one we did, which was first uploaded to YouTube, 51 views.
That's not bad.
And I'm just like, Jesus, do people really care about us that much? And then, like, you know...
we're botting. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, hate to break it to you. But it's just, like, you know, my favorite part about creating is just making the idea real.
Yeah.
And the most frustrating thing about me for the pandemic was I'd have ideas for short films that I couldn't make real.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Oh, no. You finish your sentence, and I'll try actually finish my thought of, like... I was just going to go straight into, like... Well... So basically, yeah, and I was going to keep doing that for a bit.
Because the one thing, because I knew when the pandemic set early on, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. I need to start making mental precautions, like saying, hey, I'm not going to be able to see people. I'm not going to see my girlfriend. I'm not going to be able to do anything. But I still had a job. So with that job, I worked. And nearly all the money I spent, I put all towards equipment. Because I'm like, this is going to be a waste of a year.
Yeah.
Just buy all the equipment now. So once everything goes back to normal, you have it.
Yeah.
And then you can just start saving your money.
Yeah.
Which is hence like this setup that we're sitting in now. This was the work of a year. Like, you know,
yeah.
Camera over there. And like, you know, one of the microphones. Computer, a setup. Yeah. So I built my little sanctuary over the course of the pandemic. So once it ended, I have... the battlements ready to go. So that was my personal project, you know, for me to do.
I mean, I also I just want to say this podcast was like I was also so happy because it really like I when drawing the thumbnails for these, I actually have a blast of just trying to think of what to do. Even right now, I'm trying to think of the one for this one, which is could you have heard that? Doesn't matter.
Like full disclosure. I started this podcast for you.
Yeah.
Because, like, the one thing that always upset me about you is, like, again, it ties into your ADD, is just that your ADD kind of stops you from doing things you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, that, like, the stuff you show me, it's always a blast to see, but it's just, again, you get overwhelmed.
And it's, like, yeah, I mean, holy fuck, the amount of times I've, like, tried to do something for college. I'm going to say college a lot, because college was... a big thing in my creativity. Like if you look at what the shit I did when I was in the first 2 years of college, no pandemic whatsoever, everything was fine, and then like the year that just passed, it was a fucking huge change. I loved like drawing and just like thinking up things really quick, but this one I was just like I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't have anyone to like. Because I love working and talking. So, and, so basically when I work on something, I kind of do it last minute-ish. But like, I
mean, diamonds form under pressure.
Yeah. And I I love working on the stuff that I do, but the problem I also do is like I do a lot like like in one day, and I get so annoyed at myself for the fact that like, or not even at myself, I just get so annoyed at the work that I'm doing that I'm like, at this point it's becoming a chore. I don't like doing it.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that happened to me.
Yeah, and I'm like, I fucking despise this. I don't want this whatsoever.
That's exactly what happened with me and my creativity as well. That like,
yeah.
So I remember when the pandemic started, the new Doom just came out, and the game, I was so excited for it. I got the collector's edition, the helmet sitting on my shelf.
Yeah.
But it's just the fact that it's the only thing I had for enjoyment that I didn't want to play it. I was like, this is the only thing that's going to make me happy for a while. I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Because like once it ends, then what?
Yeah. By the way, I totally forgot something that also really helped me through, and I probably should have been using it like that time to probably work on my own room. But I've been playing. When pandemic started, I played a fuck ton of Animal Crossing.
There you go, Doom and
Doom and Animal Crossing. But Animal Crossing was such a huge fucking help. I love like just designing my island. I didn't like. I've stopped now, but like I went for like 3 months in that game, and I loved every second of it. Pardon me. Yeah, I loved every second of that game so much. But I will also say, when you're playing Animal Crossing and you're like realizing like, I'm making my little place pretty, and then you like, the moment you look away from that screen and you look at your own room, you're just like, holy fuck, my room's a mess.
Well, I mean, like,
back to Animal Crossing.
Because like I said, over the last course of the year, I don't even think you noticed, but I got a new bed.
Yeah. I didn't.
But like, you know, it's just over the last year I've been trying to make the room my own, a place. It's one of the most important things about creativity is be in a place you want to work. So like, you know, people will see now, thanks to the time lapse from the camera, that my room is kind of split in two. I have the editing station, but then I also have all my nerd stuff like literally right beside it. So when you walk in, you get a good idea as the type of person I am. Yeah. But then for some reason, it's well suited for 2-man recording like this.
Yeah. I mean, this little chunk that's here is perfect for can I also say about the time lapse, I really want like to release a version of it where it's really fucking sped up and it's just the Benny Hill music that like but it's like I would say that and it would be funny for like a few seconds when we are moving around, but then we're just like this doesn't make sense in the recording because I'm just waving my hands around, but like in the time lapse, I guess,
because like to take it back to me, like you know, as I said near the start, I was always very introverted because when I was born with a thing called club feet. So pretty much I was lucky enough to get it on not one but both my feet. But pretty much when you're born with club feet, your feet are supposed to be facing towards the ground. Mine were curled up. So literally, I wouldn't have been able to walk. Yeah. So very sheltered, always in hospitals, blah, blah, blah. I had my first surgery. Like, I had correction things, but it wasn't temporary fix. It was just to align them. But I had my first surgery for them in junior infants. So I had a cast up to my knee. Yeah. So I couldn't walk. Yeah. And I remember in my primary school, we had like this little shed thing that you could sit under. And I had to sit there. And someone was supposed to sit with me, but they ran off. And then when the bell went, all the classes lined up, went inside. They fucking forgot about me. I was sitting outside by myself.
Oh my god.
And I was sitting there like, guys. Then the principal walked me. I was like, what are you doing out here? He's like, they forgot me. And then like, that was like a weird start to a lot of my seclusion. Yeah. Because I couldn't go places. I couldn't do this. I was isolated. Because like, if it was raining, for some reason, I was taken outside the staff room, and I had to sit outside the staff room, not with the class. So I didn't even really get to interact with my class much for nearly all my primary school, because, like, you know, junior and senior is when you make all your friends. Yeah. So everyone had their friends, like, you know, oh, you're my best friend. I had my second surgery in senior infants, so the same thing happened for 2 years. Yeah. So, like, you know, I left primary school feeling extremely miserable, and I was excited for secondary school because I thought, hey, second chance, I can make friends. No, that didn't happen. Yeah. That, like, you know, a lot of my introversion just kind of sprouted, and like, you know, I spent a lot of time playing Xbox. I made a lot of friends on Xbox Live, which, you know, helps. And then real people were shitty, and then just like, friends, fucking exes, it all built up, and it was just, I was like, I don't know how to process all this, because like, again, all that stuff, like, that's the thing, you don't understand it, but it's there. And like, the lowest moment of my life is when I had a complete and utter fucking mental breakdown in front of everyone, including Matthew. And like, I've taken accountability and responsibility for it. It was fucking shit. Like, now I can pinpoint what I shouldn't have done. Because like I said, with the bipolar thing, at the start of the day, I could pinpoint that I wasn't in a good mood. I was like, I have no reason as to why. But at the time, there was stuff happening with people, with stuff, other stuff. Just a lot of stuff was like being pulled right from underneath me. And I just... one thing happened at night, I completely just snapped, and I did the worst thing, and I just started drinking more, and I just overwhelmed, and it was a shitty situation. I put everyone in, but after that, like, after some serious conversations were had, I was like, I need to fucking get my act together. I need to start like being self-aware with what I'm doing and how to go forward.
I remember that like night, and I was thinking that like you definitely seems a bit off. But like, I also felt like you tried to keep forcing like a happy act that night, and I mean, it was like bad to be in a position of like, I don't know what's going on.
No one did.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm also very proud of you for like just being able to like overcome it. Like, I know a lot of people who just sometimes just don't overcome stuff
and
like that.
That means a lot to me, because like, I don't like apologizing without making a promise. Like, usually if I apologize, like, what can I do to make up for it? But instead I was like, no, this is what I'm going to do. And the first thing I did was get a job, start focusing on what I want to do and improve myself, start pinpointing myself. Which is why I started pushing the filmmaking a lot more. But then when the pandemic started, I'm like, well, I can't really make anything now. I can just buy all the stuff. And that was the important thing for me, to show people that I was serious about the whole filmmaking thing. Because now, like I said, I have everything I need. And I'm getting a bit more self-aware with myself, because I think that's an important thing. That just a lot of people aren't self-aware. Like, one thing I love doing is saying stuff out loud and realizing that sounds ridiculous.
I mean, people have to understand that no matter who or what, like who you are, you're going to have a small ego, and you kind of have to recognize that all the time. Because I remember when I was 16, maybe, no, probably 18, close to 18 anyways, I was like thinking like, I gotta destroy this ego. I don't have one, all right? And I was just like, I was thinking that in my head. I obviously didn't say it out loud, because everyone...
Again, if you say it out loud, you're like, this is fucking stupid. What am I saying?
Yeah. So in my head, I was thinking like, I don't have an ego. Look, I can look at myself in third person and realize that like I can do shitty things and stuff. And I was like, no, you'll always have an ego. You can't just negate and say I don't have one, because everyone does.
Want to be the best.
Yeah, everyone wants to be the best them, and like.
But the thing is, you have to break that down. You want to be the best, but you also shouldn't be. That's all you want. Like, I want to be the best, but I also want to help people along the way to get where they need to go.
Yeah.
Because like, one of the things that helped me bounce back was I just got busy. I got productive. I tried my best. Like I said, as you said, with year 1 and 2 in college compared to now, that how you've grown over the course of the pandemic. I just sat down, started studying filmmaking more, and now my quality when I started versus now, I'm like, I am shocked at myself. How did I do that?
Yeah.
Here's the answer: money. Just buy all your equipment. But like, I was just busy. I was trying to get like just more comfortable, because after the anxiety of the entire situation passed, just trying to rekindle friendships, reconnect with people. And I just got busy. And of course, there's going to be days where you're just defeated, and you have to let that happen. You're allowed to have days. But it's just about what you do with it. Because like I said, the one thing I'm very guilty of now is saying I'm going to work on projects, but then nothing happens. And I'm like, half of that is just me being afraid to initiate it. But the other half, like, No Names mentioned what happened with that client the other week. Like, that's another thing to make me go, I just don't want to do anything for a while.
Yeah.
But it's just being passionate and being, just driven. Because like, there's a difference between being motivated and being driven. Being motivated is you want to do it. Being driven is I have to do it,
Yeah.
Because like I said, with that, like, you love animation, you love all these things, but I just felt like you didn't really, not that you didn't know how to express it, because you could have talked about it, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was like, because, okay, we're wearing earphone. Well,
Yeah.
I'm wearing earphones, you're wearing headphones for this one.
Just to monitor the audio better.
The fact that, like, I can't actually, like, properly hear outside these things is, like, it's funnier when I'm just hearing.
For context, it's one of me little siblings in the other room.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, you love talking about it, but when, like, it's not that you were procrastinating it, but it's just you get overwhelmed. Because I remember, like, episode 0, you said, like, the worst thing you hate is paperwork.
I fucking despise it.
Yeah. I don't blame you. It turns a lot of people off. And, like, one thing I've been trying to do as well is unlearn a lot of things I was taught when I was in college. And just try go about it my own way. Like, I don't know how to fucking do a podcast properly, but yet here we are, technically on the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
But it's just that, like, the one thing that I'm happy about this is that, like, the fact that thumbnails are your art.
Yeah.
Like, this is you. Like, when you see those thumbnails, they were drawn by you, which makes me happy, because then there's an outlet for you to do what you want to do.
And I do them quite quickly, which I like. I like kind of on the fly drawings I do more so than, sorry if I'm looking away from the mic, I'm pouring water. But, like, I prefer that. It makes me more comfortable drawing.
Because you're doing it just because you want to.
Yeah, and quick drawings are, like, my favorite. It's shit in my head that I can quickly get out. Because
it's unapologetically you.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite things that I did in college, and why I hated like the last year, was that when I was with my college friends, I got to draw with them every now and then.
And I'm just comparing and contrasting,
Yeah. But, like, we also make competitions of just, like, okay, we have to draw this character from memory, and it's like it and you can change them out for, like, or like make a fucking weird thing that does nothing, looks nothing like the character you just mentioned, but it's like you can still find defining features that are those characters, and I love it. It was my favorite time.
Another thing about being self-aware is you have to know what is going to set you off, and that's another thing that I've gotten I'm more aware of it. And with me, a lot of my triggers come with social anxiety.
Yeah.
That, like, I don't like the attention on me. I don't like being pinpointed. And if I feel like someone has a problem with me, and they say something that's kind of off, it'll just be in my head. So half the time it's nothing, but I have to bring it up. And so people are like, oh, I'm only joking. And I'm like, the way you said it didn't sound like a joke. Everything's firing on all pistons.
Yeah.
And, just, I can take a lot of stuff, but when it just comes to social interaction, that's the one thing where I'm always anxious, because, like I said, the kid who was uninvited to everything, if I'm with people, I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be here, like, but it's just, I'm getting more aware of it, because, like, in all honesty, I don't really like hanging out in big groups, because I just get very overwhelmed. I get very overwhelmed very easily.
Yeah.
But when I'm with, like, 1, 2, 3, 4 people, it's fine, because, like, another thing I hate that sets me off is when I'm talking and people just butt in and talk over and not even listen.
Yeah.
And of course we're doing a podcast, so that's going to happen. But again, as you've heard, like, we'll say...
Let me just butt in.
Oh, fuck, we both peaked.
Oh, shit.
Don't worry, it's my problem. But, like, that's... In groups, when you're just trying to say something and people can see that, but they don't give it, it makes me feel like shit. And like I said, these are all just things I'm trying to adapt with and overcome. And like I said, I want to start creating stuff, because now that it's in a safe environment, because I've been practicing a lot by myself.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with my camera, I'm comfortable with lighting, I want to get a bit more comfortable with audio, but now I just need to actually just learn, just actually do it instead of stop saying.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like in college you're taught, you have to do the paperwork, you have to do the script, you have to do this. I'm like, nah, what if one day I just have an idea and I just turn on my camera and just start doing it?
Yeah, I feel like they really try to teach you the industry pipeline and not what you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they want you to put yourself into a market that just wants to use you as a tool.
Mm.
And I mean, this obviously sounds a bit harsh, but like, if you do want to do that, that's fine. Like,
If it works, it works.
yeah. If you feel like you can do a specific part of a job in animation or in the film industry, go for it. If that's the specific thing you want to do, instead of doing the whole encompassing magnum opus of whatever video you want to do or something, it's like, yeah, I would recommend you to just be a part of that pipeline and just be a single thing instead of being the whole thing. But if people who are aspiring to be directors or like just like great filmmakers, I would recommend you do everything you can in that moment.
One thing they definitely don't teach it in college is, I'm going to give you a hypothetical here. Here's Dylan. Since he was 8 years old, he was making crappy short films on his old camera with his friends, and he grew the passion, and over years, he bought all the equipment, started making high quality stuff, and now he's 26.
Yeah.
6 short films, 10 commercials, 3 music videos. He understands and knows how to use all of his equipment because it's his.
Yeah.
And then there's Jake. He's gone to Trinity College to study filmmaking. All he does is write essays. They don't actually touch the equipment. And he graduates with a piece of paper that says, hypothetically, I can make films. Who do you hire?
The third option
Secret
of don't hire any of them because we're on a budget now.
But like, you see what I mean? That like, if you can learn it yourself and you can sell yourself, then like, why do you need a piece of paper to prove it?
Yeah.
Because like, one of the things is, like I said, when I said I bought all the equipment, I bought all the equipment. I have a camera, I have lights, I have audio, I have editing. I'm trying to be the jack of all trades. So when I start my own productions, people understand it's my production. Like, you know, if I give someone a boom, it's like, okay, you're doing this for me. Like, again, I would love to pay people, like, even if it's something small, but at the end of the day, when you're hiring someone, they're like, yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But people, like, you know, because again, I'm going to need help with all this stuff in the future, but they just have to have that respect of, I worked for this, that's my tool that you're helping me with.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm giving you experience and whatnot, but again, the favor will be there. Because, like, you know, I do want to get comfortable with renting some of the stuff out. Like, recently, a college friend of mine reached out saying, hey, like, you know, I see that you have all this stuff.
Sorry.
That, like, you're, like, you know, I need to rent some audio stuff, and I want to go to you before I go to a rental house. And I'm like, I appreciate that, you know. And so it's just, I trust, like, it hasn't happened yet because just some setbacks happened, but it's just things like that. Like, you know, that, like, starting in an industry like this, like, I know with animation, there's a lot of peripherals you need. Like, yeah, computer you need, but you also need drawing pads, you need this, you need that.
Yeah.
You need the pens. That, like, it's an investment. And if you're expecting it to pay off anytime soon, it's not going to happen. And that's how a lot of people get deterred from it. Like I said, I've been buying all my own gear for 3 years, and I think I've seen about €20 of it back out of, like, nearly the 10 grand I've spent in it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just, like I said, the idea of succeeding, because I can be very determined when I want to be, and I know I can do well if I just push for it, and that's the thing, I need to start pushing for it.
Yeah.
Like, now that the brunt of the pandemic is over, and it's safe to say we all learned a lot more about ourselves this pandemic than we did beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I said, I've learned a lot more of my capabilities, and just use that to just grow into the person I am.
Yeah.
Because, like, one thing I wanted to ask is, like, are you happy and or feel accomplished with where you're at right now?
If we're talking about how my, like, animation, like, I think I'm a bit behind, I would say, but with life in general, I'm very happy where I'm at.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I've just got a job that pays, well, minimum, but, like, you know, it's
still something.
Yeah, it's still something, and I mean, I'm not paying much bills, like, or at all.
But yeah, you have
So,
it's a liberating feeling, you know.
yeah. So I'm getting most of that money, and it's it's nice. I'm just happy with my friends. I'm talking like with I try to talk with everyone I possibly can. I'm happy life wise. Animation wise, I could still be doing more, but like
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
Like I said, I feel more like a hoarder than a filmmaker. Like I don't even feel like filmmaker and me should be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, one of the things that disappointed me, because, like, you know, I started my Monks project as a thing just for me to make a place for all my own stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't really made anything. But like I said at the start, all the stuff I've learned throughout the last, like, 6-7 months, I'm like, I've gotten so much better.
Yeah.
So although it's not being seen yet, I'm happy with where I'm at, because I feel like I'm confident with setting up a camera, getting the lighting just right.
Yeah.
But I'm thirsty and I want more. I actually want to make stuff.
Yeah.
And this podcast kind of, it's like an appetizer that, like, you know, I'm making something, so it's hitting that dopamine that, like, you know, just the idea of making something and putting it out there. But then with my own stuff, I'm like, okay, I better fucking start getting with that. Like the way you probably feel now. But like since starting this podcast, like one of the things I said to you, it's gonna turn into something that's gonna push us to actually do shit, so we can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, I did shoot a music video, but unfortunately I can't talk about it, nor do I want to after what happened with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to make something and then talk about it here and break it down.
Yeah.
And that's me. Like, what about you? Like, how have you felt since starting this entire thing?
Yeah. I mean, I felt more inclined to actually like open up my laptop. Like, once I'm finished, like even doing the thumbnails for this, I'm always like, well, I do have that what the fuck did we call it last time? That like video, like that clip that.
Oh, your magnum opus.
Yeah, my fucking amazing song that I like to open up every time I work on like the podcast's thumbnail. I open up that and I try to work on that a little bit more. I also feel more inclined, even without doing the podcast thumbnails, that I'm like, I do want to open it up and like just work on it till it's like ready and done.
I'm genuinely happy to hear that, because like editing, you know, sitting there for hours and hours, you just like looking forward to when it's done is a big red flag.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, I want to do this. Not that, like, it's okay to take breaks every now and then, but it's just, if you're sitting there and you're like, I can't wait for this to be over, then that's because one of my important things is when, like I said, things I've copped on with, when that happens to me, whether I'm writing, editing, well, only really them two, if I get overwhelmed or if I just don't want to do it, I just immediately get up and walk away for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To just be like, okay, mental detox. I need to, you know, just give me a minute. I'm overwhelmed. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Get a drink, go for a quick walk, come back in and knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
And we do have some people's feedback. I know we've one question, but just other people's in a bag in front of us that we'll be going through very soon. Just other people's experiences or what they do to help.
Yeah. We're going to dox them.
Yeah. But like I said, with me, just one of the things that's helped me is just be a bit more aware of myself, get productive, understand the field I want to do, and kind of just become the boss I want to be. Because like I said, I have all the equipment, so I know it's mine, so people work for me. Like, it's just, can people respect that? That, like, you know, that, like, it's not, I wish, like, you know, because I remember I used to be this elitist prick that's like, you can't film anything on a phone.
Yeah.
But it's just, no, if you feel like you can, go for it. Like, one thing, as you said earlier with egos, the one thing I despise about the filmmaking industry is the amount of egos there.
Yeah.
That no one wants to help each other at all. Like, no one wants to give advice. Like, no, I'm not going to tell you my secrets. I'm not going to tell you anything. And I've just tried not to. Like, there's been people, because when I started my Monks page, I've made a few friends along the way, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to have been of some help for some of them. You know, like giving some advice about editing software, equipment, other bits and bobs, and then just like, just trying to help. Giving advice on what I do, like, camera recommendations, just setups, instead of keeping the secrets. Like, even this podcast, like,
Yeah.
I bought all the equipment. It's all mine, but, like, it's getting put to use now.
Yeah.
Like, that's the important thing. Like, I have all this stuff that never gets put to use, but, like, here we are using it.
Yeah.
Like, the box that we're recording into this for the audio,
Yeah.
I spent €300 on this box, So,
Yeah.
it actually getting used, even though I'm not getting anything financial in return, but it's being used.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, I think, what you call it? It's weird. Every time you talk about how, it was in college, right, where everyone's like not really wanting us to help each other and whatever. That's a huge shock to me. Maybe it was because I just had a really good class. Like, I had an amazing class. But my college friends are like, or just my class, because when I say college friends, I basically mean my class, because the entire class is so nice. They're like so helpful. Anytime you like are behind anything, they would try to help you out in any way you can. We had a whole Discord, and anytime a person was like, I don't really understand about this in the brief, can you kind of like help me out? I was like the entire, like, most of the people on the I mean, some people left the Discord, but like whatever.
Life goes on.
Yeah, life goes on. But they were so helpful, and I would say I'm very happy with like my entire class, basically. When I was a part of their class, but I would still say I'm friends with them, because I'm still on the Discord with them. And it's just
life
very
goes
nice.
on.
Yeah,
because like, if you shut down someone from even attempting to try, who knows what you're just stopping then and there. Like I said, years ago, I was like, why would you want to make something on a smartphone? That's not how you do it. But I'm like, why isn't it how you do it? It has a camera.
Yeah.
Like, of course, because another thing I had to unlearn was my critical brain, and just learn to accept things for what they are. Like, especially when it comes to like stories and whatnot.
Yeah.
Usually with filmmakers, if you give them a script and they read it, they'll tell you what they do with it.
Yeah.
But not say what they think you should do with it.
Yeah.
And again, it's that ego playing in, where like, I'm a bit more reserved when it comes to my ideas, because I don't want to hear what anyone else wants to do with my idea.
Yeah.
But giving someone advice on starting off, you could be pushing someone down someone they want to do.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't understand that thing about animation, but I'd love to try it one day.
Yeah. I mean,
and with this podcast, I'd love for you to sit where I'm sitting and like learn how to do it yourself.
Hell yeah, I'm touching all the buttons, and
but like,
here, look, I'm touching all the buttons.
And we're peeking.
Haha. That's not me now, but I bet you when
he's just making work for me. That's all. But like, it's just giving someone a chance. Like I said, even if you find it overwhelming, even if you don't want to do it again, it's just you're giving it a chance.
Yeah.
Because it's just more skill for you. But like, like I said, I had a whole list of stuff here, and we kind of went through nearly all of it in a roundabout way. But it's just, one thing I want with this podcast is that like, we just, like I said, how we're kind of doing it now is like, we come up with the idea for the next one. So Matthew picked mental health this week, and episode 1 was my idea of creativity.
Yeah.
Where I don't want to come in with bullet points, because usually what we'll do is I have a whiteboard, we'll write a few things up on the wall in relation and just use them as guidelines.
Yeah.
But I don't want to come in feeling scripted,
Yeah, I mean, with what happened with episode 0, we basically did that, and we didn't follow it whatsoever. I mean, we just talked nonsense in episode 0.
Yeah, that was a...
But like...
You have to hear it to believe it.
Yeah. Shilling? I don't know what the meaning... I don't know the meaning.
But it's just, I prefer the idea of like, just, hey, I want to talk about this week. Let's just come up with ideas and keep them to ourselves and just roll. Like, with this one, I didn't even know how to start this one. I just pressed record, and you were talking about how the start of this is definitely not going to be in it, or how it's a story for another day. That, like, how we almost lost episode 1.
Yes.
But it's, then it just kind of just rolled and just kept going.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just create. Literally just it's I know it's easier said than done, but like with this podcast, Pamachi just said, I want to start a podcast. I always want to do a podcast. And I said, why not?
Yeah, we were walking on in like our little forest, I guess. It's like we weren't even in it. We were just like on the borderlines of it. But like, yeah, and I remember I was like, dude, I would like really like to do this. I mean, like, it just, the concept of it sounded interesting. And you were telling me how you tried an attempt of it last time, but it seemed like it was all kind of over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I don't know. I'm having a blast with it.
Like the fact that it just, everything has just happened. Like the name literally came in episode 0. I just threw something out there and it just stuck.
Yeah.
And that's just it. But it's, the most important thing is it's just a place for us to just express. And then like, because in the future I do want to expand the podcast, so it's not just us talking. Like the reason why we do, although like the first 2 episodes, one was a bonus, the reason why I want to do every 2 weeks is just so you don't hear us talking about boring shit.
Yeah.
Just a lot can happen in 2 weeks. Like, you know, you can work on a project and release it and talk about it then, so it just gives us time to go, okay, let's just live our lives until then and want to go back to it.
Yeah.
But as I was saying earlier, that like, do you want to take the first one out or will I?
You can go ahead.
That on my social medias, I just asked some questions of just like, hey, like, how do you cope with your mental health, or do you have any questions?
Yeah.
And I have them in a little baggie here, and I'm shaking them out, handwritten, so you know. Ooh. I know that there's one big paragraph, like, I don't know.
Oh.
But again, like the people who sent in all the stuff, again, we appreciate it because it does take a lot to just. Your little bit of comfort is yours, so putting it out there is scary. And like I said, it's all going to be confidential, so...
Yeah.
So
this one's by... No.
But, so, this one says, when I'm going through a tough time, I like to talk it out with those I'm close to. And keep myself distracted. And that is an important thing that, like... It's okay to have a few days where you just want to distract yourself and not...
Yeah.
Confront it, because again, if you like heat of the moment arguments, you're not going to like do it rationally.
Yeah. I mean, that I'm not gonna lie. That just talking. Okay, like that's practically what I said. It's so helpful. Yeah. Just talking like lets you just fucking forget your woes and just be like, this is just so nice. I like this moment right here, right now.
Because like literally, the moment you just say it, just how decompressed your body feels.
Yeah. It's so. I don't know. Maybe I'm hyping up talking a bit too much.
But you enjoy talking and it helps you. But it's just being distracted is important, but it's also just as important to remember that the problem's still gonna be there.
Yeah.
So when you feel ready, battle that demon and just get over it, like conquer it.
Yeah.
But talking and distracting is definitely important.
Yeah.
You can pull the next one out.
Okay. Let's hope I can actually read it.
I try my best to write as neat as possible. I have really bad handwriting, so let's hope.
I actually didn't mean it in... Oh, I have 2, do I? Oh, no, it's 1.
Into the microphone.
Oh, yeah. Art and music. That's all this one says. So I'm going to say...
As we said at the start of the episode, podcasts and music helped us.
Yeah. That's actually... Oh, I should leave this one out.
Yep.
Yeah. But that one's... Yeah, that's... Yeah. I did just say... I okay, everyone's saying what I'm saying. This is kind of cheap. But like, music helps so fucking much. Or anyways, to me, anyways. I like... I remember I came up with like a fuck ton of animation ideas just through music alone. Yeah,
because you imagine a music video in your head.
Yeah, and I'm like, this sounds awesome. Like the one the most recent one I've even thought about was It's Raining Men, because it's maybe this is also because I was listening to Hercules or like watching Hercules as well, but like the animation style of Hercules works phenomenally well in my head with
the goddesses on the vase.
Yeah. Those designs are perfect for like It's Raining Men, and like, or I just have these ideas of like, but like, that's an entire music video, and I don't know if I even have the. I mean, I would have to do like a frame a day because holy fuck, that would be so rough for me to even like.
Because one thing I
up.
noticed over the pandemic was I stopped watching a lot of things and just started listening a lot more. Because like I remember when me and my girlfriend, when we tried watching movies over the phone, it felt so existential.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
we're watching a movie together, but I'm in a room on a phone call watching a movie with a voice.
Yeah.
I'm disassociating right now. Who are you? Who am I?
Yeah.
But I just, like I said, I just started listening to a lot of things more. So like, just watching movies, the enjoyment wasn't there as much. And I don't know if that happened with you. Like I said, I spent a lot of time just going down YouTube rabbit holes. But with podcasts, you just listen to them and get about your life. So yeah, art and music, definitely a bonus.
I mean, me and Katie walked to, we went to an art museum, and that like, I mean, I saw some amazing like. I'm trying to remember the name of this painting, but it's a gorgeous painting of like, I think it's like the 8th gate opening of like heaven or something. It looks gorgeous, and all I was thinking of like this is a world, like this is already a built world, and it's like looks so good. And like even that like there's an artist rendition of this British sea captain when I think the Napoleonic Wars were happening or something, and the art for it is like, this guy looks like a great character design, or like this guy, it's like it just helps me think of like or visualize what like this looks perfect. And I don't know, maybe I'll try to think of a story.
Yeah, like one of my friends, she was in college, but she wanted practice with writing and just kind of like what to do. And one exercise I suggested for her is, when you're on a walk, take out your phone and take a picture of something you find interesting. Then when you get home, write about it, whether it's a story or just describing the scene.
Yeah.
And like, advice I don't take myself, because that's how all great advice is. You give it but don't actually listen to it. But like, stuff like that, like, as the saying goes, great artists steal.
Yeah.
But the next one is keeping busy, whether it be going out for a walk every day or reading. Staying off social media also helps.
That's you. That's how you do it. I mean, I guess this is kind of cool, like listening to everyone's thing, and it's just like, wow, weird.
I mean, I kind of cheated because I knew a lot more of these than you did. But
true. Oh yeah, that is true.
But
yeah. But these all like, this is very nice because it's like a lot of
it grounds it.
Yeah, and a lot of people think the same way, meaning like we all have the same thought patterns in some sense. I mean, obviously some people are. I mean, like a lot of it's different from each other, but like, how we deal with everything is still very similar. And I think
especially the social media one, that like, it's a fake world out there. Like, it's just how many likes you get, how much this, how much that, but it's not real. Like, social media is now a CV on a person, which I hate. Like, it doesn't feel real. It feels too dystopian for my liking.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I hate Black Mirror. I don't like Black Mirror whatsoever.
There's a few episodes I love, but I understand why.
Yeah. But it does have has some good concepts. The episodes aren't great, but it has some good concepts, like how everything matters on your like percentage.
I remember that one. That was one with Bryce Dallas Howard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That and then, of course, leave it to the best country in the world, China, to actually implement something like that. The social rank structure.
Yeah, and it's like, that's a great concept.
And now we're banned in China.
Yeah. Okay, well, if we're in there, it's like, okay, he's Winnie the Pooh. The guy who runs that is Winnie the Pooh. Okay.
Xing Jinping, I think it is.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just social media. At first, it was this little harmless thing, but now it's just the fact that, like, some people, they can't actually talk to people. It has to be social media. The fact, like, if you go 2 weeks without texting someone, you're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that shit so much.
I mean, what you call it? I don't know if you... So... the group Game Grumps, right?
Yeah.
So their fans are obsessive, like, of them, to a point where, like, if they don't talk, like online to like openly, like on Twitter or something.
Make it look like they're actually friends.
Yeah, it's just like, then they think something horrible's happened, and it's like, no, it fucking hasn't. And even if it was, why would they have that out in the open? Like, the whole thing is that don't air your dirty laundry.
Yeah.
It's like it's not good.
Like, I won't lie, I'm really bad when it comes to messaging. Like, there's like about 2 people that I'll always constantly text and respond to, but it's just usually I prefer interacting with people over texting. You know, the odd time I'll send someone a text about something, but it's just most of the time when I'm texting, most people say, do you want to go on a walk or do something? Instead of just texting. Because I don't like it. I like actually interacting and whatnot.
Yeah. But,
yeah, bags in front of you. I think there's 7. I have 2. You had 1, so there's maths. 4 more to go, I think.
Okay. Let's.
And the winner is...
hobbies, or looking at the little things in life, which, yeah, I mean, I wish I had like a good. Okay, well, I do have a hobby, and that's collecting manga, and actually, I fucking enjoy it. Every time, like, I feel even a little bit down, I look at that shelf that I have, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean, again, you've seen my room.
Yeah,
like literally behind Matthew is 3 Optimus Prime.
Optimus Apu. Yeah, I know.
I have 3 Optimus Prime figures, but one of them I got that was my childhood toy, and he sits proudly standing tall. But it's just, again, the little things in life can just mean the littlest thing to you.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when people like shit on people for the music they like. Just because they like something different to you doesn't give you the right to shit on it.
Yeah.
And like people like collecting stuff doesn't give you the right to fucking shit. If they don't shove it down your throat. Like, a big controversial collectible now is Funko Pops. I like them because I like a lot of stuff. Yeah. And a lot of stuff's expensive. So getting something that's really cheap, but also from a brand I like, that's fine by me.
Yeah. I mean, there's one time when I was... Should I say that one?
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, true. I'll probably yeah, no, I won't say that one. I'll probably say, like, if the most things I find the best is when you can get a sincere, and like you everyone knows the most sincere thing you can, like when you get a sincere thank you off somebody. Yeah. It's so nice, and it's like, that is a small thing to say to somebody, or like, but like when you finally hear a really true sincere, like, thank you, or like, God bless you. I mean, like, it's so gratifying. It's like, that's very nice, because that really does come from the heart in some capacity.
Like, it's the little things that go a long way. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Someone recommending something, and just someone actually taking the time to even listen to it. Little things like that.
Yeah.
You know, like the way you said you started listening to Magnus, because like, I only recommend things to people if I know they'll enjoy it. Yeah. You know, like, I won't just recommend something random. But it's just like, if you like horror, trust me, I'd recommend that. And then, like, you know, like the way I really found out about Junji Ito through you. You're like, hey, you like horror? Wait till you see this guy's work.
Yeah.
And like, you know, now I want to start getting more of his work. Because, like, you know, it's just anime isn't for me.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and manga. But that's not me just
negating all of it.
Quick tangent, like, you know, when it comes to criticizing things, it's okay to just not like things, but that doesn't give you the right to shit on it.
Yeah.
And if you're giving criticism to something, you should have something in substitute that you've changed.
Yeah.
So when I say, like, you know, I don't like anime, that's not me saying I don't like it because it's bad. I just don't like it because it's just not for me.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, Junji Ito, God bless him, he's just...
Yeah.
His work is just so horrifically amazing that I love it. And again, I thank you for introducing him to me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to start buying more of his work.
I mean, that's another thing. When somebody says... like this is from the other point of view. If somebody says, I don't like something, that doesn't mean they don't like everything about it. They could like some things, but they can't like the other. Like, the amount of people I fucking heard that say, like, man, I don't like anime, but that Spirited Away shit,
Yeah.
you know, like that, like Princess Mononoke. That they're all great things, and it's just like everyone. I've always heard somebody have like one anime that they like, but like I totally understand. There's a fuck ton of anime out there, and a lot of them are kind of the same.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes that could be the first one people find. That's why it's special to them.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That, like, you know, it's a lot of perspective. Just because, like I said, you don't like something doesn't give you the right to, unless it's something really bad. Like, you know, of course, like, you know, if it's something illegal, yes, but like, you know, criticism and stuff like that, it gets very blurry because again, it's bad for the sake of being bad, or you just being a prick. Anyway, next one.
Epics.
Really
broke down criticism there.
Learning more about the condition, self-awareness can help you combat repeating. And I agree. That's what I said that I was trying to do it myself.
Wait, say that one again.
Learning more about the condition, so whatever it is, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's ADHD, depression, bipolar, BPD.
Dude, when I first ever had like a panic attack, right? And the moment somebody said, I think you might be having a panic attack, I was like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. I knew what panic attack was, but I'm like, wait, this is what this is?
This is horrible.
Yeah, I'm just like, I've been going through this, like, I've had this, like, probably multiple times in my life, and now I'm only finding out, and I'm just like, and the moment I look it up, I feel a huge amount of relief. Even during the panic attack, I was like, oh, thank fuck.
Because you learn to combat it. And like I said, once you go, oh, a panic attack's coming on, okay, battle stations.
Yeah, and I'm just like, the moment you know what it is, it's like perfect, like, cause there's tons of solutions on how to deal with it, or like the fact that you just know what it is, you just like know how to like combat it. It just knowing is so fucking good. That's why I would always recommend someone to go to a psychologist at least once. Psychologists don't actually like,
not therapists. They don't teach you how to cope with it. They just tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think I'm undiagnosed bipolar, but it's just one of those things I know I want to do, but it's just life gets in the way. But like I said, with my girlfriend thinking that she has undiagnosed ADHD, I've been treating her like she has ADHD, like, you know, respecting it. And I think, like, a lot of non-neurodivergent people can be a bit ignorant in that regard. Like, you know, like, since the podcast opened up, you've been a bit more open with your ADD, and I've been taking that into account. Like I said, right there for you,
Fidget
you know.
Cube, yeah.
Like, you know, it's just little things like that where you just have to be just understanding, you know, like, there's nothing wrong with being neurodivergent. It's just you have to learn to just understand when people act differently. Like, I can't express it, but, you know.
Yeah. I will say that I don't like how this is going to go into another tangent-ish thing about school and how they sometimes treat mental health, or like the lack of it in some areas, but like the too much of it in others. So there's SNAs
that's assisted learning, isn't it?
Yeah, which I think you really need to know the kid before you can assign one to them.
Every person reacts differently to things.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have people with ADD, but they both have different ways of reacting and coping with it.
I absolutely hated it, having an SNA. Not for the fact that it was like they were fine people. Like, SNAs are nice people. I mean, they're in it to help people who have problems. I'm like, that is such a nice thing, but sometimes it's just not good. Like, there's a person hanging over a kid
and forcing them to go by the structure that isn't suited or catered to them.
And they need to socialize. They need, like, but when a kid sees a grown adult constantly hovering over somebody, they have a...
That sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it has a feeling of, I don't really want to be around you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be around an adult. And it's like, that separates you a lot. I mean, in primary school, I was friends with only people that had an SNA with me. I was
not to like sound horrible, but like interacting with people who don't have it was probably a nightmare.
Yeah, I felt like when I didn't have an SNA, I could. Okay, yeah, actually, for the longest time, I couldn't interact with anybody. I mean, in primary school, I was stuck on games. I couldn't get away from games. I was like, I want to be on my PlayStation 2. That's all I want. And in secondary school, I was in the books. I was reading manga. I got into anime.
In your own little world.
Yeah, I got into anime a lot, and I mean a lot. And I still had SNAs until probably like third year, until I went into fourth year, and it was the first time I ever told my mom. I was like, I don't like SNAs. I don't like them.
That was probably a big thing for you.
And I was like,
brave thing as well.
Yeah, and it was around fourth class to fifth class that I actually started trying to talk to people outside of like nobody I talked to. Literally, what I did in school in the first 3 years, I went into my own corner in like where I actually wasn't allowed to be, but like sometimes teachers like let you be there, but like if a teacher passes by who's a bit like naggy or anything, they'll be like, oh, sorry, you can't stay here. But I was literally only there reading a book, and
you were just in your own little world. Just you were happy, you were comfortable, you know.
Yeah, and SNAs, like, or like even going into sections of rooms that like you have to be with. You have to like, I can't remember what the classes are called, but like I didn't do Irish, right? So I had to go into a learning support like room or whatever, where you basically just like they teach you small things. But I also feel like I think you need to also separate those ones as well, because sometimes that's piss easy classes, and I'm just like,
it feels patronizing. I'm guessing it's like, I know to stop treating me like I'm stupid.
Yeah, but I also understand the need for them, because I mean, but they also need to be developed a lot more. I don't know how long they've been in the school system for, but they need to be developed a lot more to be workable for people of all kinds of like disorders.
As inclusive as possible.
Yeah, and it was only till like fifth year where I started talking to people outside of my like outside of, or like just actually I just started talking to people. I mean, I had friends outside, right? Where I was completely fine. I definitely made friends outside of school a lot more than in because of the SNA thing. But like, yeah, I think there's a lot school needs to change. But like, I mean, that's literally every generation of school. And then when you finally bring it up to like a person who's gone through school, it's like, please, we had it much worse. And I'm just like, I don't care if you had it much worse.
It's still affecting me negatively right now. Like, the problem still exists.
The whole point is we need to keep getting it better.
Because, like I said, to bring it full circle with what the person said was, like, I've copped on a lot more myself. I've learned to just be a bit more respectful with other people and just taking into consideration what might be happening with them, what they might have. Just being a bit more aware, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll swap you with this one. I'll take this one.
Is this the last two?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if I pretend I'm doing things for someone other than myself, I can get myself fed and tidy. Pretending my future self is someone I love, like a friend or my partner, will motivate me to shower, cook and clean my apartment, which in turn can sometimes help improve my mood. Viewing my past, present and future selves as different people can sometimes trick me into taking care of myself, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. A lot.
Because, like, one thing you've written on the board, which we haven't brought up, was existential dread.
Yes.
And, like, that's... Some people get it, some people don't. I get it really badly. Some nights I'll be in bed thinking, wow.
Yeah.
But, like, breaking down stuff like that, because, yeah, we all cringe at the past, but the hard thing to come to grasp with is, it's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I've had, I haven't had existential dread in a long time. I had them a lot worse when I was 16, 18, like around that time anyways. Because there's this YouTube video called a YouTube channel called Hercules. I think I'm saying that right, but like it's the subtitle is also called In a Nutshell. They make deep, like they basically break down science to a very easy digestible degree, to a point where it's kind of scary. I think they also might have like a weird existential dread themselves every time they write, but it definitely scared the shit out of me, and it made but I haven't got it in a long time. But in what that how they dealt with life, I guess, they're about viewing yourself in the past as a different person is like hugely beneficial.
Yeah.
I actually had, it wasn't existential dread, but I had a lot of questions towards myself of just like, how do you know now is now? And like, because now is going to be
over in a second.
Yes. And that's a different you, because you then think of different things, which led to the question, wait, how do you know you are actually you? Are you just a robot? Are you just in a matrix of just like simulated things? Like, how do you know your memories are yours? It's like, it's kind of trippy. I don't know if, like, literally me saying that probably made a lot of people go like, holy I don't know. Not really. Because actually, like, it's not that deep.
Because like depression is a big thing, but depression isn't just also just being sad. Depression is you're not doing the things you enjoy, not seeing the people you wanted, not talking about the things you wanted, not taking care of yourself, not brushing your teeth, not washing yourself, just letting yourself fall apart because you don't want to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
And it is so tough to overcome, because it's literally your brain fighting yourself, and you're not going to win against your brain.
Yeah.
The brain named itself the brain after all.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, it was important for me to bring up what happened with me 2 years ago, because that was kind of how do I say it? Like, you have two lives, and you only realize the second one begins when you're aware of like what you've done. You're like, holy shit. And that was kind of like that moment for me where like everything that's happened in my life has led to this moment. I don't want to let that happen again, so I'm taking control. Which is when I became the person I wanted to be. And the thing is, I didn't stop there. You don't stop, you just keep trying.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've worked, as soon as I turned like 18, 19, I fucking got a loan from the bank to get equipment. That was, any other person like, that was a fucking stupid idea, wasn't it? I'm like, yeah, it was. But I did it because, again, I took a risk. And now I have all the stuff and I just want to use it. But because I took that risk, it made me go out of my comfort zone, which is something a lot of people need to do.
Yeah.
You need to do something that makes you go, that makes me uncomfortable. Do it. You know, even if it's like fucking bungee jumping. If it's, I don't know, like, it can be anything. For me, it was literally going, I want to pursue this.
Yeah.
And I look at myself that night and I'm like, that was the lowest. You now have a graph for the lowest. You can only go up from there.
Yeah, I mean, when I oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I blanked. One sec. What the fuck was I gonna say? 1 second. I'm thinking. I'm trying.
You want me to fill the noise, or?
It was something to do with looking at yourself and needing to know what to change it. Was it? You know what? Yeah, let's fill that noise, because I genuinely can't remember.
But like, I just I evaluated and reevaluated. I know what I wanted in my life and what I had to do to keep it. And like I said, there was a lot of things I wanted, but I'm like, you need to change your fucking shitty pessimistic attitude. Trust me, you're not cool when you say you're a pessimist.
Yeah.
But like I said, here I am nearly 2 years later, looking at that going, Jesus, I never want to let that happen again. And that's why, like, I've just tried to be a kinder person, help out, like, random acts of kindness. Like, if someone just asks for help, do it, but don't expect anything in return. Because I feel like with some people, that they'll do something nice for you, but then they'll hold it against you. And I can't stand that. Like, you see them people, they'll do something good, but they're so vain about it that they have to post it everywhere.
Yeah.
That it's just, I don't want to be that, like, I want to have my own little moments of triumph that no one else ever sees. And that's
Yeah.
another important thing. Like, every good thing you do or every triumph, like, yeah, weight loss, fair enough, share it to the world. But, like, you know, you overcoming something, like, even, it can be something like a stammer, it can be something just mentally, that's your victory. Like, show, don't tell. You know, don't tell people you're going to change, but then when you don't change, you're like, what the fuck?
It's like when those people who say, I'm going to change. Or like, no, wait, sorry. It's more like those people who go up to a homeless person, gives them money, and brags about it later.
Yeah.
It's just like, you haven't changed.
No, you're literally just, again, you're doing it for yourself, not for them. But like I said, let your actions show that you've changed.
Yeah.
And, you know, not everyone will notice, and you have to, that's no offense to you,
Yeah.
you know? But
I
it's
mean,
just...
What you call it? By the way, this was the point I was meant to bring up earlier when I blanked. But when I realized I need, like, so when I said, when I tried to talk to more people after I was like in books all the time during secondary school, I basically took a look at myself and was like, I am literally just looking at books. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love looking at books.
There was a moment of weird self-awareness, like, this is me, this is my life at the moment. Is this what I want to do?
And I also realized I didn't have a lot of people to talk to. So I tried to talk to a friend group that I wasn't really, like, a part of at all. But, like, I mean, I did talk to them, and it was really good. And then they were actually really nice. They invited me to a party, and I was like, this is really nice of them. I got a bit drunk that night, and I was like, oh my fuck, I wish I didn't, because it was kind of embarrassing.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. I broke one of their ornaments, and I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I was like, oh fuck, I'm so shit right now. I'm such a shit person. But I will say, with that, like, friend group, I mean, I don't have much conversations with them now, but, like, if
life goes on,
if I pass by them, I'd, like, say hello. But there's a like, I'm so glad I did that as well, because that means that was such a jump off, right? That was like me, who is at the deepest depths of, like, just reading books, trying to climb Mount Everest, or trying to get to Mount Everest in the first place, of just like, I need to start talking to people. So I literally, like, I awkwardly, like, during lunch, I walked to their table and just sat down. I was like, hello, hi. Didn't know what to say at all. But I will say, I'm so happy that I even
there
just
you go.
did that.
As I said earlier, that was a risk, and you took it.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, obviously it didn't work out for me to become, like, long-term friendships with them. But during college,
valuable lesson, you know.
Yeah, but during college, I got much better at talking to people, and I think a lot of, I would say I think, but I'm not actually 100% sure how my college friends think of me in that sense. But, like, they would find it really hard to, and this is me presuming what they think, but I think they would find it very hard for them to realize that, or, like, even think of me as a person who wasn't very like, sociable. But I was awful at being social.
See, you probably have what I have. In social interaction, when you're nervous, you just keep talking. Because I have that. Like, I remember my first date with my girlfriend, I wouldn't shut the fuck up. I couldn't shut the fuck up, because I felt like if I stopped, there's just going to be silence, and it's going to be awkward.
Yeah.
And then on our second date, I couldn't talk.
Yeah.
But it's just, I have that nervous talk where one of us has to keep talking, otherwise, you know, it'd just be awkward. But then the other person's like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. Like, so, do you think you have that as well, where you just feel like, I just want to make sure people are comfortable, and I don't want people to feel awkward, because I'm feeling like, you know. Yeah,
I get that. I mean, I get that. Like, the way you described it there, I don't think it was, I'm that, like, quick on the talking points. Like, if when I notice a silent, and what you call it, like, some, like, a lot of people pointed out to me now that, like, when I see a silence, I'm like, hey guys, what's your favorite anything? All right, and, like, I break the silence with that, or, like, yeah, Yeah, and I remember when I think I probably definitely turned around, like how I talk to people and stuff, was when one of my college friends came up to me and was just like, pretty much everyone likes you here. I was like, well, one, I can't take compliments, so this was like
I'm the same.
Yeah, so,
I don't like presents either.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, thank you.
What do I do with this?
Yeah, basically, I reverted back to when I was like unsociable as fuck, and I was just like, cool, thanks, man. And
I'm laughing because that's the exact same thing I'd do.
yeah, and it's like I can talk up a storm when it comes to like newish people or like trying to understand them. I mean, if I can get even the smallest like grasp of what they want, sorry, I'm pouring water. I can talk for ages about it with them because I mean, technically, I know. Even if it's like the glimpse of what like they, I can talk for a very long fucking time because, I mostly like. I mean, I don't know if. Wow, this is not a sentence.
You're really selling yourself
here.
here.
I know. I'm like, like the moment I'm talking about how well I got at talking. I'm like, well,
isn't that ironic?
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, I'm so glad I got better at like all those things for just taking that leap
for yourself.
And like looking at, and I again, every time someone brings up like what do you think of yourself in the past, I was like, I would beat the shit out of myself. I would
hey, nerd.
Yeah, I would be like, I mean, there's obviously some parts that are still me back then, but like it's just always weird to look back on what I
same
like was.
I look back and go, Jesus fucking Christ, was that me?
Yeah, I mean, God, it's even to the clothing, man. I'm just like, that looks fucking disgusting. What the fuck? I mean,
again,
maybe
self-awareness is important.
Yeah, maybe that was like the least like I should be worrying about instead of like looking at a kid who's like lonely as shit and kind of down in the dumps and like just accepting that like whatever, I like books more than people, I don't need this. I'm just
but that's not a positive attitude for yourself.
Yeah, I know, because like what happens if you like
what happens if someone tries to be nice to you? You're just gonna be a dickhead to them for trying to just extend a hand?
Yeah, it's like I'm so fucking glad that I took leaps and like or like this that just changes you for the better.
Yeah, like you're doing it for yourself, but if you're trying to show off the fact you're changing, then you're not doing it for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I will also say to this like whole thing that when you kind of say to people take a leap, make sure it's also a good one.
Yeah,
because if it's going to change you for the worst, like when you say to people take a leap, make sure they learn the good lessons of that leap. Because if they like say, if they tried to do what I did, right, and just went out and talked to people,
it mightn't work for everyone.
Yeah, it's like, well, now they just got shut down again, and they're like, see,
I'm
look
going
what
back
I told
in my hole.
Yeah, and it's like,
I was right, you were wrong.
Yeah, but I think the new lesson you should take was that you learned how people actually talk to each other or how they begin to talk from just now. And I mean, I took probably a really, in my head, this is a really big risk because of the fact that it was during secondary school. And secondary school is like, once you're in a group, you're not leaving that group.
Yeah, I understand that one.
Yeah, you see everybody in like their own little like huddles of groups, and you're just like, well, that's them. That's like them for the entire 6 years of like all of school. And you're like, cool. In fifth year, I try to break one of their molds and just like say, hey, can I say hello? With the burp and all. No, I did, but yeah, I mean,
just like I kind of blame like American media for this as well. It's like you're either with the cool kids or you're not. But like then you go to college and like we're all a bunch of losers. Hey everyone, like, you know, the thing about college is, unlike secondary school, is you're actually around a group of people who have the same interests as you, you know?
Yeah. Do you know what I actually think right now? So right now, I think kids' cartoons, or like just kids' shows, right? They're fine. I don't think they necessarily like give off the wrong impression nowadays. Not if you go back to when we were, it was very gender based and like, you know, like
It was very
girl show,
white, yeah.
boy show. That's it. But and I say when our day, that's 2000s. It's like not that far long ago. But
you got Barbie and you had Action Man.
yeah, but now everything is kind of like inclusive, right? Like it's
Which
very,
I'm happy to see.
Yeah, yeah.
There is no boy and girl show anymore. It's just a show.
Yeah, but then the moment I also think you go into teenagers, right, and you go to teen shows, I think that's still where the problem fucking lies. Because when you see teen shows like Riverdale or
Jesus.
or like most
They're
Netflix,
all attractive.
Yeah.
They're all these just perfect beings.
and like their solutions to everything is to let's backstab these bitches. I'm just like, no,
Like,
what the fuck?
It pisses me off that. How do I word this? It pisses me off that like having an actual conversation about someone you know who is acting a bit shitty or did something bad and they're not taking accountability, and you pulling them aside going, "Hey, you fucked up,"
Yeah,
is backstabbing now.
yeah,
I can't stand that. Like, you know, because with me, if I fuck up, I want someone to tell me. I
Yeah.
want someone to put it down bluntly, like, you were being a shithead. And that's what happened to me with my breakdown a few years ago, that someone pulled me aside. But it's just, you do it because you want to better them. It's like, trust me, you'd rather me give you tough love than some random stranger just presuming that's you. Because, like, it's just, it's so easy how friendships can just break now. Like, you know, like I said, not texting for 2 weeks, not doing this, but it's just people have lives going on.
yeah.
Like, you know, after we record this, chances are we probably won't see each other until the next episode, but that doesn't mean the friendship stops, you know?
No, and okay, we're gonna break the fourth wall here, but we actually just fucking despise each other. We can't even be in the same room. I'm actually in Hawaii.
But it's just like, you know, one of my closest friends,
yeah,
we rarely text, and we see each other like 3 times a year or so, bit more, but like, you know, it's just the friendship's still there. But it's just people are their own people, you know?
yeah. It's I find it also annoying how like it is annoying. Like when people just don't realize. It's like those people who say, I complain about cancel culture, right? Or something like that. And like it's like I can't stand it. But when their own friends like do something wrong, they're like, he's unfixable. Get him out of here. I'm just like, you're missing your own point of just what cancel culture is. It's basically not allowing people to grow up, and it's
like people
it's
are
not
inherently
good.
shitty, you know.
Yeah.
They're inherently shitty, but if they mess up, you're just like, okay, trust me, that was shitty. Please just be aware that like the world is changing, and you get people going, snowflakes. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just, again, if I do something bad or someone sees something happening, I want them to go, dude, stop being a prick. Like, and but that's me. I can take the criticism. We get other people going, you called me what? A bitch because I'm being a bitch? Yeah, fuck off. Like, it's just, I can't stand that shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's just me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. We have one more thing. We went
That
all
was a
long.
tangent.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, for like there was a lot to be talked about there. But yeah. This one's pretty like it's just reading, meditation, praying, and taking a bath.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had like a good bath like to use, but yeah.
like, it's just, again, that's just self-care.
Yeah.
You know?
I
Like,
mean-
you know, I'm not a religious man, but I respect people who are.
Yeah, I mean, when we've been talking about like you should like look at yourself in third person. I would say that's what meditation is. Like
Yeah.
that is like one of the lessons in meditation where it's like and it's also really funny how I don't know if this is still like known, but like when people think meditation, they still think the
No.
like cross it. Like, no,
It's literally you just turning everything off in your body.
Yeah, yeah.
And just feeling everything around you.
Yeah, and just understanding where you are right now, everything that's going on. What do you need to do, or
Like,
like
this
what?
podcast is some sort of meditation. Like everything outside this room right now where we're recording doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, when hell, even when I was talking about music, like when like most of these like answers, when they say music, I'm pretty sure like when people listen to music, they probably are going through like a self-meditation during it as well. They just don't know it. It's just like
one of my favorite bands is Slipknot, and they're a heavy band, and I was lucky enough to see them in 2020 in January.
They eat a lot, so that's why they're heavy. Funny joke. Good on me.
I was having a shitty week that week, and going to the concert, I felt like a different person coming out.
Yeah.
It felt like this weird form of therapy where, like, you know, one of their songs is called People Equal Shit, and it's, as the title intends.
Yeah.
And I had this weird moment of self-awareness where everyone's screaming, People Equal Shit, and it has big signs. I just stopped and just looked around and went, a lot of these people are probably feeling how I'm feeling. And, like, everyone was happy and buzzed coming out of the concert because that was a form of venting in a healthy way. Like, you know, of course, like, you know, one thing we didn't really touch on was coping mechanisms are just as important. Like, you know, if you have anger issues, you don't know how to cope with that, you better get on top of it. Like you said, like with me, being self-aware is kind of coping mechanism. But if I have a bad day, I'll put on some heavy music and just kind of lose myself in that and just kind of let it out.
Yeah.
But that's me doing it in a healthy way. Or, like, you know, playing violent video games.
Oh, sorry.
But, like, you know, it's just video games. I hate how demonized they are. They're like, you know, they'll call it killings. I'm like, no. When everything's taken in moderation, it's a way to just vent, you know, taking frustration out. But it's just in moderation as well. But like I said, just it goes back to don't demonize things. Like, you know, in one of Slipknot's lyrics is like, you know, you cannot kill what you did not create. So it's like, you're not a part of it. Don't worry about it, you know. Stop trying to stop it, you know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, but me, my girlfriend's obsessed with K-pop, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I just don't like pop music in general, so it's not my cup of tea, but I'm not going to diss her for it. I'll listen to it with her. I'll engage with it with her because it makes her happy. And, like, you know, it's like, going back to stuff, like, you know, it's just let people be happy. Yeah. You know, like, it's so hard to just let people literally be.
That's the great Beatles song, Let It Be.
Let it be.
I'm pretty sure it was about the Bee Movie, but, you know, whatever.
The laws of aviation. But yeah, that was deep.
Yeah. Man, I need to pee. Just
bye, everyone.
Sayonara, douchebags.